Hello there, wiggers and niggers. It's Uppity White Guy again. Time for one of our 10-cent talks. And again, I always preface this with the same stuff. Not a ton of research went into this one, because, to be honest with you, this is just my feelings on the matter. And I'm not going to research for 2 hours. Old Uppity has to get to bed pretty soon. It's almost 8 o'clock. Not much of a party yet. I'll drink one beer and knock myself out and go to bed. Who am I kidding, right? So, this is short and sweet. I didn't have a lot of time to do research. It's something I've been thinking about recently. And let me preface this by saying, I know you can't do this, okay? But if I could wave a magic wand and take away people's voting rights, who would I do it to? I'd do it to 3 groups. First, women. Most of them are too dopey and stupid to vote. And yes, that's a blanket statement. Not every woman is dopey and stupid. We get it. But too many of them are. You don't see a lot of female Bill Gateses or female Elon Musks. Right? There's a reason for that. Their brains don't work logically. They don't. If some of them weren't good looking, they'd have nothing at all. If they couldn't reproduce, they'd have no point of being on the fucking planet. To be serious. Because that's their main contribution, is squirting out a kid. Okay? Because most of them don't do anything else. Nothing of note. You know, you talk about toxic masculinity and all this horse shit, but when you're in the middle of a blizzard and your power goes out, you're not going to see Sally outside in a pair of high heels hiking it up the fucking pole to fix your power, now are you? No, it's going to be toxic masculinity that gets up the fucking pole and puts your power back. Streets, designed by men. Cars, for the most part, designed by men. We know there's one woman somewhere working at Ford. We get it, okay? But come on, you can't point to many of them. They don't think logically. Society was built pretty much by men. Women act like they're equal, but they're not equal. If you're equal, go downtown and register for selective service. Oh, I don't want to do that. Yeah, of course you don't. But you want all the fucking benefits. If I registered for selective service, as far as I remember, I couldn't take out loans to pay for college. Not federal Pell Grants and shit like that. But you can, because you got a fucking vagina and 2 ovaries. Right? Yeah. So fuck off. You shouldn't be allowed to vote, because you don't think clearly. Well, Donald Trump's me. Yeah, now we got a retard in the office. That's working out fucking great, honey. How's that working out? You stupid bitch. So they shouldn't be allowed to vote, period. Because most of them, with some exceptions, are just too fucking dumb to vote. They shouldn't be allowed to vote. You get that many people voting, they fuck shit up for everybody else. So women are the first group I would just say, don't vote. Don't vote. Just fucking stay home. Okay, you're a waste of skin and bones. Next. Black people. Yes, there are geniuses that are black people, like Thomas Sowell and Neil Tyson deGrasse, which has recently said some stuff that's just out there, like the planets he studies, but he is a smart guy. And again, Thomas Sowell, I got his books on the bookshelf. A historian, bar none. Very smart guy. I love to watch his YouTube stuff. It's like, it's shit you just didn't learn in school. And it's amazing. But he never says anything. He doesn't say anything like anything's owed to him. He doesn't need an apology for slavery. You know, this guy pulls his own pants up, and yeah, he's a genius. He really is a genius. I think he teaches at Harvard. I don't remember. I'll have to look up his bio. But anyway, let's face it. That's a small percentage. The average blacks, whenever they take over anything, you got Beetlejuice in Chicago. They voted her out. She didn't know why. Oh, it's racism. No, it couldn't be because you sucked at your fucking job, could it? Yeah. Now they vote in another black guy because you gotta replace a black person with a black person, right? They vote in this other retard every weekend. South side of Chicago, double digits. Young black kids getting killed by other blacks. No, it's not by whites. It's reported on by Breitbart and other stuff, but it never makes the local news because whites ain't doing the killing, so they're not going to say anything about it. Black on black crime, the Democrats don't give a fuck about that. And the Democrat media isn't going to tell you. But every weekend it's double digits. It's not going to be white people because you're not going to find a white guy on the south side of fucking Chicago. Right? It's like if you're living in Boston and you go to Roxbury, no, you don't go there. You don't walk the streets during the day. Just stay the fuck out of it. Everywhere blacks run, it's a shithole. You got Chicago, you got Detroit. You want a house for $1? You can get one in Detroit. It doesn't have a roof on it. They loot their own neighborhoods. Then the stores leave, and they go, oh, that's racist. You just looted the fucking store. The fuck is that racist? Of course they're gonna leave. They're not gonna come back and set up business where you steal from them, so then they don't have any stores. I've never seen such retardedness. I've never seen a race, an up-and-coming race. In the 1950s, I think, I have to research this, but I think in the 1950s, black people's divorce rate was below white people's. And they were an up-and-coming race. They fought to go to school. They fought to go to school. Risked their lives to get an education, which they deserve to have. And now, what is it? Oh man, nigga, I don't want to be white. They don't pay attention in school, don't finish school. School's a place where they go sell crack. What a fuck, but they'll quote MLK every 5 seconds. And get the fuck out of here. That's like the average liberal retard quoting JFK. They got nothing in common with him. If he was alive today, he would probably vomit all over them. Okay, so these assholes, they go on and on about Africa. They couldn't find it with Google Maps. Everywhere they run, like Marion Barry in Washington, D.C. When he gets caught smoking crack in a hotel room with 2 hookers, they bust in. He's like, I don't know how these hookers got here. Come on, man. You know how they got there. You know how that crack pipe got in your mouth too, asshole. So, I mean, everywhere they go, they run shit into the ground. Schools are bad, education's bad, theft, murder. I don't want these people voting. They constantly vote Democrat, even though the Democrats sit there and insult them. Fucking insult them. Before this election, this last one, which was a criminal election, period. We'll get into that later. Joe Biden sat there on fucking camera, and he said, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. Imagine if Donald Trump said that? Holy fuck. And a lot of them still voted for him. You gotta be fucking stupid. Oh, Trump's a racist. Did you not just hear what that guy said? Didn't register. Jesus Christ, dude. You gotta be thick as a brick. I don't want these people voting. Because the average makeup of their race is just, don't vote. Don't vote. It's like the Dilbert creator, which, the creator of the cartoon, which we will get into later, just said, there's no fixing this. Just get away. Move away from them. There's no fixing it. And because of that, he's a racist. He's not a racist, he's truthful. I've talked to black kids when I worked at Walmart. Holy shit, they're idiots. Most of them. There's 1 or 2 bright spots, but most of them are just fucking idiots. They're retards. They're like, Donald Trump, racist. So I said, okay, how do you know that? Where'd you learn it? Oh, the internet said so. Oh, you learned that on one of your 3 iPhones you have? Great. It's just... If I could wave a magic wand, voting rights taken away. That's it. Because if you're that dumb, you shouldn't be allowed to vote. Third, Muslims. Some of them come to this country with the best intentions and really want to be Americans, but then some of them, like that Omar, the fucking congresswoman, Jesus Christ, she comes to this country, she lied to get into it. She said her brother was her husband, or some shit. She took aid, I believe, when she came to this country, pretty sure. This country helped her out. Now all she does is badmouth this fucking country about being racist. You're a female. Perhaps you should go back to the fucking Middle East and see how good it is over there for you. You fucking dumb bitch. So, Muslims. You go to Dearborn, Michigan. Half of the town is Muslim. Half of it's Muslim. I've seen videos of white people right to it. It's not even safe. It's what they call a no-go zone. You no-go there. Okay, one of the biggest mosques in the United States is built there. That's another thing. I would outlaw mosques being built in this country. Don't give me this religious freedom, religious freedom. It's not religion. It's terrorism. No building that shit. That's where they get together and hatch their little plans. Fuck that shit. I would demolish every fucking mosque, not build one of them. If you don't like it, go back to the Middle East. You're more free over there, right? You can have any goat you want. Or sheep. No one's gonna stop you. As far as the women, if they bitch and complain, you think it's bad, go wear your burqa over there and talk shit, and you'll be stoned in the town square. Or hanged or something else. So if you think it's so bad here, fuck off. Primarily, they do not assimilate. They're not like the old-time immigrants. They don't assimilate. So put simply, no voting. I would deport every single one that's a Muslim. No Muslims ever allowed back in this country. That's it. They hate us. Too many of them hate us. Why the fuck give them an opportunity? I don't care. We're not letting in Einsteins. We're not. Let's face facts. Most people that cross the border, they ain't Einsteins. Oh, you never know. We could have. That's like George Floyd. Oh, he could have went on to be a rocket scientist. No, he wasn't gonna be. Okay, and these assholes, they're not gonna go on to anything but rape sheep. Okay, they're not gonna do anything else. Okay, so fuck them. Don't let them in. Jesus Christ. And they shouldn't vote. Period. But, since we can't do that, we don't have a magic wand, and we don't want to blame entire genders or race, I think what just should happen is, every 4 years, 6 months before the voting date, whatever, every citizen should have to take some sort of voting test. To show they understand the branches of government. Just basic, nothing too fucking hard. And it should have current events on for the past year. That's it. It doesn't have to go back that much far. Current events, what wars we're about to get in, where they're at, and they should know that what this country's doing. Basic questions. They don't have to be conspiracy theories or whatnot. But the fact that, like, we gave $8 billion to Iran, which is true. We did. That should be on the test. People should know that we funded them. People should know Hamas attacked Israel. People should know why Russia went into Ukraine. Because the UN, they kept having Zelensky try and join the UN. And that's encroaching on their border. And they kept getting closer and closer and closer. It's much like the Cuban Missile Crisis for us. So although I don't like commies, I can't blame them for attacking. You don't want someone nipping at your heels right at the border, because the next step, then the UN will say, we're going to put these missiles in here. And they're right on the border. It's the same thing as the Cuban Missile Crisis was to us. We didn't like that either. But when we don't like it, it's okay. But if Russia doesn't like it protecting its borders, oh, well, they invaded. Well, yeah, of course they did. Of course they did. So there should be a test that you know this stuff before you vote. And if people were more informed, they might not vote for fucking retards. And if they fail the test, They got to go back and learn it. Maybe they have a second time to take it. If they fail again, they just don't vote in this election. That's fucking it. And that would eliminate a lot of stupid. But that's never gonna happen. Never gonna. You have to take a driving test. To get my permit, I had to at least go to an NRA class. So I'd have a license to carry. But voting, fuck, you can just do anything you want. That's wrong. It should be a little bit harder to vote in this country. Nothing that hard. Just an easy fucking test that you know what's going on in the world today. And you know some branches of government and shit like that. You know who your state representative is. You know, stupid shit that you pull out any kid in school, any black kid, for Christ's sakes, or any woman walking down the street, and they're like, what? You don't vote. That's it. So they should have to pass some sort of citizenry test. And that's it. I mean, it's not that fucking hard. You'd eliminate most of them right there. But we won't do that. Oh, that's right. Let me guess. Racist. Everything is racist. Again, like I told you before, if you're white, you're born with original racism. That's it. You're a racist the minute you take your first breath. So you can't avoid it. So who gives a fuck? Right? Okay, niggas. Remember what I say. If she's a nag, you have a right to gag. Okay, now, remember always what I say. These balls. Goodbye, niggas. I'm going to bed.